The right-wing media is having a field day with Biden's comments. Biden there I love this. I love all the backlash from the Tony Hinchcliffe joke. If you guys don't know, Tony Hinchcliffe is a comedian. He's very famous, very much crushing it right now, fast becoming a household name. He's had a really wonderful last couple of years, but this year in particular, he's done really well for himself. I believe the Tom Brady roast was earlier this year. He really made a name for himself during that roast. So did Nikki Glazer. There were a couple other good comics in there too, but those two I think stand out for me. And so Hinchcliffe was invited to be a speaker at Trump's Madison Square Garden rally a couple days ago. What was that? Sunday? Yeah, it was Sunday. Trump had an amazing he's going so strong these last few days of campaigning before the big day. He had his big podcast on Joe Rogan, and then everyone was like, "Is Kamala gonna do it? Is Kamala gonna do it too?" And turns out Kamala's campaign was in touch with Joe Rogan, and they wanted him to go to DC to meet up with her. And she only wanted to do an hour, and Rogan was like, "Homie, don't play that." He had a sock full of quarters. Whapa, who remembers that? Rogan was like, "No, I don't really need you that badly. If you're not coming to Austin and you're not doing 3 hours, it's not on. So that's off for now. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen." Instead, he's got JD Vance coming on. I don't know if that's gonna be today or tomorrow or Friday, but I don't think Rogan needs Kamala. I don't think Kamala needs him. And she did her closing speech, I guess it was yesterday, from the ellipse in DC. So it's like she's not trying to make it about she didn't mention Trump outright, but she's doing her final speech from the ellipse, which is where January 6th happened. So it's like she kind of is doing like just letting you guys know this is where that happened in case any of my people forgot about January 6th for 5 freaking minutes. I'm going to remind you because that's all the left has is January 6th and abortion and more abortion. That's what the left has to offer you guys. And unlimited illegals. So anyway, Tony Hinchcliffe, he made many jokes. He was the first. He was the first up. I'm pretty sure he was the first up to speak at Trump's Madison Square Garden rally. And it's hard to do comedy for what was there, 20,000 people there? And this wasn't even his first time at Madison Square Garden. He's a pro. He's been there a couple times before in like proper comedy settings, and I've seen people on Twitter being like, well, the fact that Tony was even at this rally means he's an activist. He's more of a politician than a comedian. And I say that's BS. Comedians do comedy at all types of venues, not just comedy clubs. Comedians do comedy at bachelorette parties, I've done a comedy at a baby shower. People do comedy at rallies, sure, fundraisers. I did comedy once for like a thing for cops. So you can't come at me like, well, if comedy's not happening in a comedy club, then you're an activist. No, a comedian's job is to provide comedy wherever the gig is. Sometimes that's a comedy club. Sometimes it's on tour with midget strippers. Okay. What's shout out to my friend Lila Hart. And sometimes that comedy happens at a rally. And what are you going to turn down a Trump rally? Well, I don't want people to think I'm politically oriented. I don't think Tony much talks about his politics, but he did make it clear during his set that he was for Trump. And he had a joke where he mentioned Puerto Rico's trash problem, which I'm pretty sure has been going on for a while. And the Democrats would rather get all up in arms. They'd rather get their panties in a bunch over Tony's joke than they would do anything to fix the problem. Classic leftists for you. A mission stripper for every home. Um, so anyway, so Biden, all he has to do is keep his mouth shut these last few days before election day. All he has to do is just, sip his Metamucil, eat his ice cream, and just stay calm while Kamala tries to eke out a few last appearances. But can he do that? Can he stay calm? No. No, he can't. He cannot help himself. What did he do? He responds to Tony Hinchcliffe's joke by basically calling all of Trump's supporters garbage. Let's play that clip. Let's play the clippy. Let's play the clippy. He looks so bad. He looks dead. I feel like these last few days they've stopped giving him formaldehyde. They've stopped, you know what I mean, like blowing the makeup budget on him. God, he looks terrible. What is he on? A Zoom? What is he on? A cheap webcam? They've taken away the good cameras from him. And so Biden refers to Trump supporters as garbage, and the White House scrambling, trying to save face. They apparently put out the dialogue from what he said. And they're like, oh no, he didn't call all the supporters garbage. He just called Tony's support garbage. They're so full of it. It's so obvious.
Or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization is seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American.
First of all, he almost said that he's from Puerto Rico.
Or Puerto Rico, where I'm.
He almost said Puerto Rico, where I'm from. Biden almost thought he was from Puerto Rico.
Or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware.
Ugh. He'll say half a sentence and then pick up another half of a sentence. He's really just like a walking Mad Lib.
They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
The only garbage I see floating out there are his supporters. Oh, you mean half? More than half the country, Joe. Not good. Not helpful. Not helpful to Kamala these last few days. Really not good. This is impossible to spin. Even the left-wing media is having a hard time spinning this. They're like, yeah, no, not helpful. What is he gonna do? I wonder when this is all said and done, like how soon after whoever wins, next week. I wonder how soon after they're going to start saying like, oh, we're putting Biden in a home, or he's got fifth stage dementia. Probably not right away because the handlers don't want people to know how far gone he truly is. But I bet it's coming maybe early next year.
His demonization is seen as unconscionable. And
it's conscionable.
It's un-American.
It's not American. Anderson Cooper's like, I don't know what to say. Oh no, Joe. Love this comment. Oh no, Joe, you're supposed to lay low. Why won't you listen to Rose? Listen to Rose, Joe. Just sit there. Just sit there. Sip your mashed potatoes. God, he looks so bad. They hate you. Someone let Joe Biden loose. He wandered up to the camera and called Trump supporters garbage. That's at minimum half the country he's supposed to be leading. He's not leading anything. Levy. Not good. Not good. But you know what is good? Hello, people in the chat. Oh my goodness. Hello, Viking. Garbage. We're not Puerto Rican. You know what's good is now we all have carte blanche to call Puerto Ricans garbage. No, Tony's joke wasn't even about Puerto Ricans. He just referred to Puerto Rico as an island like a floating island of garbage. Did he mention the people once? No. But the left is so determined to be triggered and attribute anything negative to Trump and his campaign at this point. And you know why? Because they're so salty because he's doing really, really well with Latinos. Latinos want to get a handle on the migrant problem. The people who came here legally want to get a handle on the migrant problem. Young Latinos are more concerned about the war in Gaza and the economy than they are Tony Hinchcliffe's dumb jokes. So there. Do. And they're frustrated with the economy. Yeah, I already said that. And you know what was funny too? It's like we have the New York Times actually breaking down Tony Hinchcliffe's jokes from the rally as like trying to cite it as a credible source for Trump. It's the saddest thing. Like to have the New York Times be like, then he said this joke, then he said this joke. I gotta find that. What's up, Mark Zart? Mark Zart. Rhymes with fart. Thanks for the yellow boy. Good morning, Chrissy Frank. Baby Frank. Muffin and waffles. I think Creepy Joe is sabotaging Kamala by calling us garbage. Been hearing that they hate each other after the coup. How could he not hate her? How could he not? He was, and who does he even trust anymore at this point? Because it wasn't just Kamala. It was the powers that be. It was the whole gang. It was like, out you go, Biden. Out you go, Pop. And didn't he mouth to Obama at some point, like in the last month or so, like, I'm stronger than her during some kind of meeting? So, it was a gamble. They bungled it. They bungled this whole thing. And they didn't run Newsom. They didn't run Gretchen Whitmer. They didn't run Big Mike because they needed to keep all of Biden's money. What's up, Junior? I'm an illegal. Oops. I'm an illegal immigrant and I'm voting for Trump. Are you really an illegal, Junior? Don't tell everybody. Now they're going to report you. I'm just kidding. Don't report Junior. He's a good egg. And he's got his profile picture is with me, for goodness sakes. This was at the MegaCon, I believe, in Florida, where I dressed as the Scarlet Witch. Oh, Chrissy, why aren't you the Scarlet Witch again this year? Because the costume doesn't fit. Okay? Are you happy now? Is that what you wanted to hear? The costume doesn't fit.